Hello and welcome to Musical Minutes number 8. And I'm Carol from IUCC. And let's start with the trivia question. Handbell ringers wear gloves because the oils from their hands A. tarnish the shine, making them hard to polish. B. interact with the metals the bells are made from, making them sound flat when rung. Make the handles slippery and hard to hang on to, or all of the above. And the answer is A. It tarnishes the shine, and then that makes them hard to polish and get the original shine back. So that's why we're real fussy about making sure that we all wear gloves. Okay, since we're going to talk about handbells, we're going to have Lisa Izzo show you the different kinds of bells that we have and some different things about the bells. So now I'm going to turn it over to Lisa.
Over 30 years ago, when I first joined my first church bell choir, one of the first things I learned was how to ring a bell appropriately. So let's start with the fact that it's not like a dinner bell that you ring like this, because that's not going to work really well and it's not going to be able to be timely. So the first thing that I learned was that when you're ringing a bell, you use big arm circles, and it's all in the flick of the wrist at the top. And one way that we're taught to remember to do that is to think of this as a cup that's holding your favorite beverage, and you don't want to spill even a single drop of that beverage. So you want to make sure that you keep the bell up at all times when you're making your arm circles and ringing your bells. Now, the other thing is, if I ring the bell this way, it doesn't ring as well. So there's a right way and a wrong way to actually hold the bell and have it ring correctly. And you can tell that by the letters that are on the bell. And there's a little bell icon right here. And that tells me that that's the side that should be up. So my thumb should be on that bell so that when I ring it, it's going to ring properly. The other thing that you learn when you're learning how to play bells is to damp the bells, to stop the ringing when it's not your note's turn to play. Because if I ring like this, and then I ring this on top of it, those sounds don't sound pretty. So I want to make sure that I have my separate sounds separate. So one of the things that people learn is to damp into their shoulders, which means for ladies, they can't be wearing things with lots of buttons and lots of jewelry that's going to clank against the bells, because that would cause problems too. One of the things that you can see if you look deep inside the bell is that the clappers actually have letters on them that say S, M, and H for soft, medium, and hard. And what those indicate is how much sound the bell is going to make. So some churches tend to leave, or choirs I suppose, doesn't have to be just churches, but some choirs tend to leave all of their bells at the same hardness, and others might, depending on who's going to be ringing the bell. If you have somebody who doesn't have as strong of a grip, maybe that person needs to have theirs on harder than somebody who is going to be really forceful with the bell. So people also mark their music, and that's how they can keep track of where they need to be within the choir and within the ringing when there's a choir playing. Sometimes if you have people who are non-musical, the choir director will actually mark the music and circle the notes in different colors. In our church, Carol always marks the right hand bells in red, R, red for right hand, and any other bells are marked in the other color. But you can also see when you look at this that sometimes people put in the numbers for counting, and they would put in repeats, or they would put in to look up to make sure that they're looking at the director when it's maybe time to slow down or time to speed up. These are our two bells, our biggest bell and our smallest bell. We have 5 octaves of bells in our bell choir. And we don't usually play the really big ones and the really little ones because we don't have enough people to play all those bells. But I just wanted to show you these and how you might play them. This one, because it's so big, would be on a bell tree like this, and it would usually be played with a mallet as opposed to swinging it because it's so heavy. And that would sound like this. And you can have 2 or 3 bells depending on their size on here, so that for somebody who's playing all of these bells, they would have them all here and they would play them with mallets instead of trying to pick them up and put them down and having them clank against each other. And this is our littlest bell, the G7, which sounds like that. And if we were to play it with a mallet, it would sound like this. That's actually a rather piercing sound. It's kind of important to notice that depending on the size of the bell, you have a different kind of mallet. And we have all of these different mallets to cover all of the different sizes of bells that we have. Carol and I are going to play two pieces today, both of which are considered favorites by many members of our congregation. I hope you enjoy the music.